It's Salvaje. Here's my in-depth weapon review for the Plasmatron 9000. And of course, feel free to use my supporter creator code. It's Salvaje. That would be highly appreciated. So, Plasmatron 9000. Is it good? Is it worth your gold? Should you spend your schematic XP on it? Should you spend your perk up on it? Honestly, if you want, you can spend your gold on it just so you have a unique weapon in your inventory. But I'm going to get straight to the point. I don't think you should spend your re-perk on this. I don't even think you should spend your schematic XP on this thing, specifically since you just can't recycle the weapon. I didn't spend any of my legendary perk up on this weapon, and boy am I glad that I didn't. As you guys know, I like to go through a pretty deep progress when it comes down to reviewing weapons. I like to test the weapons on multiple game modes. I like to test the weapons on multiple heroes. I like to see how the weapon performs in a team-based environment. Oh, and by the way, you guys are only going to be seeing one gameplay because Fortnite servers are pretty busted right now, and I was only able to get to record one gameplay. And now there's basically no one playing Save the World, so I do apologize for that, but whatever. That's just how it is, I guess. Look, guys, I tested this weapon for about, I'm going to say 2 hours or so, and I always came to the same conclusion. This thing sucks. Alright, and I'm going to tell you guys why it sucks instead of just saying that the weapon sucks and you shouldn't spend your schematic or re-perk on it, right? Don't get me wrong, this thing has a lot of utility if you're dealing with basic husk. If there's a lot of really low health husks that are sort of hitting an objective, you can actually use the Plasmatron 9000 to actually finish multiple husks off and do some pretty decent damage actually. The weapon isn't completely useless, right? But the weapon does have a lot of things that sort of set it back, okay? The number one thing that sets it back, it's the range. The range on this pistol is 3 tiles. Like, it loses 100% of its damage at a 3 tile range. That is terrible. That basically means that you can only use the weapon at close range. And of course, if you're a smart player, you know that at the endgame levels of play, fighting at close range is only somewhat possible with a ninja, right? And specifically, if you have a specific ninja loadout, not every ninja can fight in the front line if their ability set doesn't really allow them to do it, right? So that's a big weakness that this thing has, because if I want to use a weapon that specializes at the 3 tile range, well, I can use one of the assault rifles that are, you know, catered towards close range and Save the World, like the Hemlock or the Silent Spectre or the Bobcat, or better yet, I can just use a shotgun. So right there, the Plasmatron 9000 takes a really big hit when it comes down to utility and usefulness and the value that it can actually bring to the table as an individual weapon. Now, yes, it's true, it can pierce multiple husks, but we have the Ghost Pistol that many of you guys are going to be able to obtain in Birthday Llamas in July. The Ghost Pistol has amazing range. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. Despite what some people said that the Ghost Pistol isn't great, I think it's amazing. If you want a pistol that is going to pierce refrigerator husk, which the Plasmatron 9000 does not do, if you want a weapon that is going to pierce shields, which the Plasmatron 9000 also does not do, and it will only pierce a shield if you get the critical damage perk to actually proc, right? If you want a weapon that can do both of those things, pierce shields, pierce refrigerator husk, the Ghost Pistol is going to do that perfectly, and the Obliterator as well. But here's another reason why the Plasmatron 9000 is not really a great weapon. How many times have you seen people actually using the Ghost Pistol in their loadout in Save the World? I've seen the Ghost Pistol a couple of times, don't get me wrong, because the Ghost Pistol is a pretty decent pistol if you know how to use it, specifically with Calamity, for example, and a pistol-based loadout. But the Ghost Pistol just doesn't really get a lot of use, because if you want a weapon that can pierce multiple husks, you can always just use the Founder's Revolt. The Founder's Revolt is just so good at exterminating many husks. Or if you want to be killing a lot of husks very quickly, you can also use the Last Word with a Quick Draw Calamity or with a pistol-based loadout as well. And not just only that, you don't even need a pistol-based loadout to make the Founder's Revolt a consistent weapon and the Last Word also a consistent weapon. So when you put all of those factors into play and then you compare all of those factors with the Plasmatron 9000, the Plasmatron 9000 basically doesn't really have a place in Save the World. The damage output that the Plasmatron 9000 releases is next to nothing. as you guys are going to be seeing in this clip that I got, you know, where I'm just sort of testing to see, you know, testing the waters of the weapon, seeing how fast they can finish off husk, etc, etc. In this eliminate and collect mission, I am just struggling, right? I'm struggling to finish off a lot of husk. I'm getting overwhelmed very quickly. If I had something like a Founders Revolt, it would have been a different story, right? Because the Founders Revolt is going to be able to hit a little bit harder than this thing, and the Founders Revolt also has range, which of course makes it, you know, a really good ideal weapon, because sometimes you have to fight husk at the 4 to 5 tile range. Like that, when they get up close to you at that, you know, 1 to 3 tile range, they're very, very weak, or they're not even alive at all, right? So, you know, it pains me to say this, but I'm just gonna say it. Plasmatron 9000, it's a 1 out of 5 stars. It's complete garbage. Now, if you make a pistol-based loadout, can this weapon be a 2 or a 3 out of 5 stars? Yeah, it could. But as you guys know, I don't rate weapons, you know, like I don't rate weapons only on the hero that they're good at. I rate weapons generally. That is my job, because I am here to tell you if a weapon is good overall, not if a weapon is good when you specialize that specific weapon with a loadout on every single perk and legendary. Do keep in mind, not every Save the World player is able to have all legendary perks on a weapon, or all of the perks necessary to make a weapon, to maximize a weapon, I guess you could say. So if we're taking a look at this weapon objectively from the current state that it's at, it's honestly just a garbage weapon. The Ghost Pistol is 10 times better. I would take the Ghost Pistol, the Founders Revolt, over this weapon any day. However, I just want to point out, I actually really like this weapon. If it had like a 7 tile range, 8 tile range, I think it would have been a little bit better. I was hoping that the weapon would shoot the Plasmatron mini projectiles, right? And then you would be able to pierce multiple husks. But it shoots like a ray gun from Call of Duty type shot. And I think that really, really holds back the weapon, again, because of that range. I was using it with Rex Jonesy, and I actually found myself struggling, believe it or not. And Rex Jonesy is a hero that can make a level 1 weapon in Twine Peaks shine, right? This thing took 20 years to eliminate a Husky Husk, and it probably took about 85 millennia to kill a Smasher or a high priority target like a Tager, for example. So that's all I have to say about the Plasmatron 9000. Critical rating, critical damage, that's what I had for my perks. And I also had the default perk, the cooling factor thingy that I believe it came with. But that's pretty much it for this weapon review. If you enjoyed it, feel free to drop it a like. And if you want to check out my Ghost Pistol weapon review, click on the weapon reviews playlist that's about to come out on the right side of the screen.